We all guys, bro.
But I think Yomi has paused his video or his transmission. Okay, now we can see him. So let's go back to him. Yomi, massive good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers, and welcome once again to the very bright Friday edition of the morning show. And I say welcome to the 11th day of the month of August, and we hope the August is going according to plan wherever you are in the world.
Well, he says August is going according to plan. Some people will agree, others will not agree. But whatever it is, let's agree to this for this time and let's know what is happening from Nigeria. But how are you doing and how is the family?
Well, the family are doing very well. We're grateful, and I hope yours are doing very well as well. It is good to be back once again. And like I said, the family are doing very well. If I just come out just 30 seconds so that we can adjust the other settings while we are going to come back to you in just about a few minutes.
No problem, no problem. Well, let's begin. I just said, guys, trying to bring you a nice view from outside of his premises in our London studios where he's bringing you the updates from Nigeria. But wherever you are, I don't want you to type it down at all. Because, well, there's lots going to be happening. Yesterday, we had the ECOWAS meeting that took place, or that was supposed to take place in Nigeria, okay, or that took place in Nigeria. Now, it's going to tell you the outcome of it. That ECOWAS are scared to go in, or the warnings that have come from the north and all that stuff is now what is speaking to good and sit back. And a lot of them. But, I mean, now, yes, Dominic is not it was outside there, a bit of the sunshine that we all enjoy, a bit of the summer there. In the background, you can get vehicles moving around. Of course, there are vehicles moving around out there. We just wanted to have a feel and a sound of how London feels like. Okay, so now let's first of all touch on the ECOWAS decision that you made after the meeting yesterday. The president is there.
Well, it seems that the situation is still not yet resolved as we might believe, and that is because the ECOWAS summit yesterday in Abuja has indicates that Nigeria is now, at the verge of, going to war, in line with the ECOWAS communique. There's a standby as we speak right now, and that literally means that anything might happen between now and then. We don't know exactly, when it's going to trip off. But yesterday, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu hosted again, the emergency summit of the ECOWAS in Abuja, and some of what was discussed there again is indicating that there is going to be a confrontation, with the military junta in Niger. Let's take you through the timeline. July 26, we know that there was a coup that kept, the military guard of the ouster, President Bazoum has refused to back down, even in the midst of so many pressure coming from different parts. We saw many delegates have traveled down to Niger, Nema, but it doesn't seem to be working. But it seems that from what we are getting now from Abuja yesterday, we are likely now to be on a standoff between the J. When the first military will be moving in, or whether it's going to be the air power, that is what we don't know yet. But from indication now, it seems that ECOWAS is not backing down. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Well, ECOWAS not backing down. Interestingly, let's digress a bit. Now, does that mean that okay, Tinubu is just coming, we believe that it's going to president? But okay, let's use another country, for example, part of the ECOWAS. Does that mean that it's a Ghanaian president? For the Ghanaian public. And now people out of desperation and everything that is going on decide that look, we can't put yourself in power and therefore we want you out. And some military personnel decide to keep the democratically elected, let's put it that way, out. Are we going to have ECOWAS coming to Ghana as well, or going to any other ECOWAS member country to, install an overthrown democratic government? Is that what is happening?
A lot of reaction is coming very fast on this particular issue, and as many Nigerians now getting to understand that the government is taking us to a war that is not yet approved by the Senate, because we know that the president did ask for the Senate consent, and that has not literally come back yet. So, but what we are looking up to now is who is going to be funding this? Should Nigeria go, in line with the ECOWAS? Who fund this? Is it going to be Nigeria? But it seems that as many of these is not clear yet. But there's been a lot of different speculation. Different people are talking, and we will be picking up some of the audio in just about a few minutes while we get that ready for us. But whatever is going to happen, there is definitely now a mission to invade. What we can say, the ECOWAS believe that the constitution, the democratic constitution of the Niger Republic, has been violated by the military junta, and that is the reason why they are going ahead. I've picked up what the US is saying. Anthony Blinken, I'll be telling you more about that. But let us go back to what retired Major General Henry Ayola, also a former Chief of Defense Research, has been saying in the last an hour from now.
You put up incrementally all kinds of measures towards achieving a given goal. The first thing is to ask ourselves, what exactly is the strategic end state ECOWAS is looking at? What are they trying to achieve? Mm-hmm. What exactly are we trying to achieve? For me, I think for a people who planned a coup is not an accident.
Right.
It's not a flippant action. It's something they have thought through. And they know they will have factored into it what their responses would be to ECOWAS response. It's not happening for the first time. You're talking of a situation where Guinea is in that state, Chad is in that state, Burkina Faso is in that state, Mali is in that state. These are fans of mutual admiration club. Okay? And they are not going to, they are not moved. If you watch the guys there, well, I don't encourage coup. It's often said that the best benevolent military regime is worse than the worst democratic regime. Absolutely. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. The concept of making any change by non-conventional and non-constitutional means I don't agree.
Well, that is a former Chief of Defense Research and also a developmental, under the defense headquarters. That is retired Major General Henry Ayola speaking right there. More reaction is coming as well. Maybe we want to also listen to this before I come back again to you in the studio.
Nigerian president is going to get that Senate authorization in order to make this an actual reality on the ground.
So the one that's always been clear about these sort of events is that if you promise and deliver, you make a bad situation worse. So if they go down this road, standby forces, the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State or Assistant Secretary Victoria Nuland wasn't even seen by the regime, the coup regime. So it's very difficult to see. Both sides are painting themselves into a corner from which it's going to be almost impossible to extricate.
Yes, very much so. And I think ECOWAS's first mistake was actually leading with the possibility of military intervention.
Well, it seems again, as ECOWAS really thought about these, have they put all the condition around it before the 30th of July, when ECOWAS was actually saying in Abuja that we will probably go into the action rather than negotiation and see if this can be resolved. But this is how ECOWAS stated it yesterday. Let's listen from the president of ECOWAS.
On the political situation in Niger, 10th August 2023, final communique. The authority of heads of state and government of the Economic Community of West African States convened in an extraordinary session in Abuja, Nigeria on 10th August 2023 under the chairmanship of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Chair of the ECOWAS Authority. The extraordinary summit was convened as a sequel to the recent one held on 30 July 2023, following the illegal detention of President Mohamed Bazoum.
Let me come back again to the studio. We take more from that, but that is part of what happened in Abuja yesterday. But for now, there is now what we call a standoff. Maybe this Saturday, midnight, we might be hearing the first military attack.
It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. Because I've been of the view. What are Nigerians saying? That people are hungry in Nigeria. 130 million plus are below the poverty line. They are desperate. How are they going to be funding that war? Because war.
Who have walked around it already. You know, it seems that he knows where the money is going to be coming from. Maybe part of the subsidy that we have removed will be used to fund it. Remember that we are now already saving $1 trillion under 2 months, and that will probably be useful for the ECOWAS to move, you know, the military personnel and then also support, you know, the logistic part of it as well. We know that the Americans are also, you know, talking, but they are not talking in terms of whatever assistance that they're going to be giving, you know, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We're also aware that, you know, there is, you know, a lot of diplomatic conversation that is going on behind the scene. But the real question this morning, you know, looking back to what the, you know, Anthony Blinken was saying yesterday as well. Let me pull that up quickly. Once again, you know, very beautiful out in here. I can see people working on their dogs. There's a young boy there playing on his own on the football. Maybe he's going to be the next footballer. And right in front of me, I could see that this is a school. We are already still in holiday. And the question is, we're going to come back to that. As I see right in that front of the school, it says that, you know, you can get 30 hours if you're a working parent, and you can also get what we call, you know, a support if you're also looking to bring in a 3 or 4 years old. A very tidy community, somebody's riding a bicycle there. This is exactly what people want, but it seems that the government has other priority. ECOWAS call for restoration of the constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. This is a press statement coming from United States joins West African state in calling for a restoration of constitution. How that is going to happen is what we are discussing this morning. The United States appreciate the determination of ECOWAS. That means that, you know, they've already stated that we'll be going into action, and pulling back from that will be from that, you know, interview that we had there, you know, would be a kind of a disgrace, a backup that a lot of people in the community around the world. Would ECOWAS back down? We don't think so. Democracy is the best foundation for development, social coalition, stability in the Niger. But it seems that more Nigerians are now asking, could this be because the Nord Stream that was blown apart between Russia and Germany hasn't gone as we saw because of the Ukraine and the Russia war? And it seems now that they are trying to activate the gas coming from Warri to go through Niger and get to Algeria and eventually land in every part of European country. Could it be that Niger is a strategic point where the gas pipeline will be traveling through this morning? As I was walking through this community this morning, I was looking at some of the gas laid, and the question is, while we need this gas, the question is, who is going to get it down here in a proper way? Niger seems to be the bottleneck now that won't allow the gas to get to Europe.
Well, if you are listening to us, we want to know, do you think it's okay for the ECOWAS to invade Niger, reinstate the democratically elected leader of the country, or is this something that things come on? And is it that they want to have a de facto war where, I mean, because they have got the Wagner people, the Wagner mercenaries there in Mali, in Niger, and in the other countries that, I mean, have overthrown their democratically elected leaders. They are now trying to bring the war from Russia to that part to go and fight. What exactly is going on? I want to know what you think. Sounds today. Thank you very, very much. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. But this is next time. Updates from Nigeria. Now let's move on to one other story that is making the rounds, and that's pertaining to insecurity. Now, the army chief has said that we will end kidnapping assassination in Southeast Labanya. That is the army chief saying that. Now, when they were all appointed, we were what is happening of some of the carrots and the cake, but it looks like they want to go in there with the cake.
Well, the military is very, very stretched. As we know, they're dealing with so many, situation presently in Nigeria, not just in, in the 36 state. They now also have other military that are now being prepared, that are now being prepared, as we know, towards the what we've been discussing when it comes to Niger. But looking at the southeast and looking at some of the the present situation right there, it seems that the tension continue to be very, very high. The military has got a new security chiefs. We saw that when the president, before traveling to France for the global summit. But it seems that what analysts are saying on the ground is that we do not have as many personnel, because we have seen most of them as well are coming out as well in terms of not getting proper pay. And also, as you did talk about it, this morning we saw the military responding to Asari Dokubo, because it seems that Asari Dokubo probably is pushing his luck, and the military spokesperson have come out to try to differentiate that they don't have anything to do when it comes to this particular individual. That is also coming from the news headline this morning. But like I said, the Niger crisis, ECOWAS will need as many of the Nigerian troops to be available, but already with a lot of tension on the ground, I'm not sure that we have enough personnel. We might be able to to bring some from the southwest. Are we going to remove those in the southeast, the northeast, and the north central, where we already have, the extreme terrorism that is happening in those regions? With time, we'll have to tell. But again, the military is quite stretched, as we know this morning. Star Radio UK, come back again to you, Mr. Archie.
Well, listeners, Star Radio UK, as Yomi has said, the military is quite stretched, but what is the government going to do? The military chief has said that, well, is going to make sure that they stop whatever is happening. We'll be asking of their strategies what they're going to be doing. It looks like they're going to be going out with the king, not the carrot as well. So let's see. But let's talk about Asari Dokubo. I mean, does he run a private security firm, or has he got his own mercenary group like the Wagner? What is he? Who is he?
Well, as many of us that are from Nigeria know Asari Dokubo, as a militant, but it seems that that is changing, because he's now, having access to, Aso Rock, now that we have a new government in place. Asari Dokubo, as people know him, is also from the eastern part of the country, but he doesn't have what it takes to confront Niger, but he's also saying that I am on standby should Bola Tinubu government needs me, but I don't think that is giving a very good image to the Nigerian military, because Nigerian military is meant to be there. So army has no part with Asari Dokubo is the headline coming out of Nigeria this morning. It seems that the military coming out quickly. We saw Asari Dokubo, some few weeks back, with about 500 security outfit, but the Nigerian army has said it has no partnership with the ex-Niger Delta militant leader, Mujahid Asari Dokubo, or his own security outfit. The ex-militant, in an interview, claimed he had a military company engaged by the government to work alongside the military in some state of the federation. Asari Dokubo has said, I don't have an army, but I have a private military company. Maybe it might be equivalent to, the Wagner Group. I have been doing the work for the Nigerian state. Private military companies exist all over the world. We have the Blackwaters, we have the Wagner, we have so many private military companies. So I have a private military company that is engaged by the government. We are fighting side by side with the Nigerian military in many places like Niger, Plateau, Abia, Imo, part of Rivers State. We were in Anambra too. We are doing a good job, and we have been commanded by the host community. However, when contacted, the director of the Army Public Relations said the Army had never conducted any operation in any part of the country in collaboration with Asari Dokubo.
How do you think Asari Dokubo will just come out and make such allusion that, look, I've been helping them, we've been fighting them, we've been fighting them, we've been fighting them? How? Because I'm looking at back in the day when we had the Southwest, talking about they having what do they call them? This military, it's not a security group where we were talking about. I've forgotten the name that was given to them.
Amotekun.
Okay. And we're talking about the fact that we think that they need to be armed, but if they are fighting or they are, fighting against what do you call it? Fulani herdsmen who are armed and all that stuff, they needed to fight with boot for boot, and therefore we thought that they needed arms. They didn't do that. So how come Asari Dokubo now is saying that, look, I have been fighting for them side by side? So personally, what he's trying to say that he's got a mercenary group in the country.
Well, the question is, how did he get the clearance? Because setting up these, is it in accordance with the Nigerian Constitution or is not? But it seems to be saying clearly that he works for the government. And if he's working for the government, maybe the military are just trying to put that in the public mind that they have nothing to do with Asari Dokubo. Maybe that might not be a good. We know that Asari Dokubo was a militant, one of those militant that blew many of the pipeline, during the Yaradua and the Jonathan, until there was some kind of amnesty agreed. And, maybe that was how they were. We know that most of the time they were asked to all return back their weapons, but he probably thought setting up a private security outfit and working in line, with the Nigerian military. You can see that he mentions so many states. And the question then is, the unknown soldier that we've been asking, the unknown gunman in the southeast, could this be part of the Asari Dokubo, part of the security outfit? And as we say, there's just so much happening in Nigeria, and you never know who is who. But Asari Dokubo says, I am working side by side with the Nigerian military.
Maybe the new chief doesn't know, but we want him to come again and let's hear what he has to say. Listen, let's start ready, okay? So now if again I'm not planning this today, I'm actually here in the Southeast. We are bringing you after this from Nigeria. Now let's move on. We know that how many weeks now since Dr. Sunday lost the mouth? And we're talking about the fact that, well, government has to do something about it so that they give him, he's not done anything wrong, but the fact that they are pursuing him, they need to give him that part so that he can come and speak us or he's not taking a gun to shoot at anybody. He's not told the people to go and shoot at anybody or go and ransack anybody. They were all peaceful demonstrations, and I can assure listeners that we followed it all and we knew exactly what was happening. Now, some group have gone and they to appeal to the president. Now look, allow be able to come to Nigeria. What has been the response of the president? What group actually sent up this?
Well, there's a lot of effort, there's a lot of push, when it comes to, Dr. Sunday Adeyemo. He's been in Benin Republic going to 2 years now after the invasion of his house at Soka in Ibadan, the southwest part of Nigeria, where 2 individuals were killed and eventually led to, him leaving the country. on what we can call an exile because it was not safe for him anymore. But he wanted to travel out, and that was something that the Benin government thought there was some information coming from Nigeria, and that literally meant that they held him there. After going to court, they found that he had nothing and no other reason than just to keep him now. But we know that the mother died. Is going to be 3 weeks this Saturday, and the question is, what is going to happen? The mother has not yet been buried. Is Oloye going to be allowed to return back to Nigeria and bury his mother, properly? There's a lot of different concerns from different individuals. Some say that that is still not clear yet. It will be better off not to. Some say, a mother has to be buried properly, but he can't just come into the country since, there is still an embargo on him. So that literally then put the pressure back on the government, the federal government, to decide whether there will be a leeway for Chief Dr. Sunday Igboho to come into the country with arrangement for him to bury and then return back to Benin Republic. And that literally means that there will not be any kind of confrontation between some of his followers and the military or the security operatives on that fateful day, or should that happen and the military or the DSS wants to come and pick him up from there, that could become violent and that could literally become very, very nasty, especially, in the eyes of many Yoruba people that already believe that, Igboho has been literally, persecuted for something he hasn't committed. We've been talking about Asari Dokubo, talking about his own private military security. Who doesn't have any private security, in his house? Neither does he have anyone in operation. But again, the federal government have not said much when it comes to whether Igboho will be allowed to return back home and give his mother the final burial right.
Okay. So let's start really okay. Let's see what the government will do. And let's see what it's going to be saying. Let me touch on one other story and then I'll leave the rest to you. So like because you're at 11:35. Now, tell me, Ohio is begging that from the southeast, and they are begging the president to appoint some more people from that side, from the Igbo. But the question is, now, they'll be making noise. Can you release Sunday, my apologies, Nnamdi Kanu? And if not, if the president has decided not to respond to that, the previous president didn't respond to that. He was saying, look everything, when the court decides, then we can, based on the court, I can pardon him or what. Well, it don't happen. He decided not to pardon him in any way, shape, or form. But now that we come to the place where Tinubu is appointing his ministers, that would be they're the ones, some more from that side to be appointed. Something instead, so that all the uncertainties in that part of the country will be stopped.
The question is these appointments done in a good faith, or is this something that was done as side because Tinubu is from the southwest, and that literally means that some people get more? Let's listen to Segun Shomi. Is a PDP spokesperson at some point. This is how he has reacted before we go to the Ohanaeze.
I have looked at the people he's putting together. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with the fact that, if I be honest with you, both of us are Yoruba men, that it's beginning to seem that our people they're going to get the best of the cherries. And if you want me to tell you what, I can tell you the things we've gotten already and the things they're likely to get. What are those? Come on, man. We're in charge of customs. We're in charge of police. We're in charge of army. We're in charge of CBN. We're in charge of IRS. We're in charge of taxation. We're in charge of appropriation. Have we become such a people that we can only be fair when we're talking about other people? I am beginning to see a pattern that we're getting, all of the cream is coming to us. And what we will not accept from Buhari, who was even fairer to us than he was to his people, we must be brave enough to say this is not the right way to go even for us. We're not going to suddenly become a parochial people who insist that all of the things in the country, Yoruba people are the... Listen, Sean, does it not prick your soul that you are putting 10 in one place, 9 in one place, 7 in one place, 5 in one place, and you're giving the Southeast Igbos 5? And I can tell you for free, Sean, There is no mental capacity, validation, education, authentication that you are looking for in the world that you will not find with Indigbos, either in Nigeria or in the diaspora. Why would you not start telling me that you can get 10 from the Northwest, you can get 9 from the Southwest, and you are telling me that you can only get 5 from them? So these are the issues.
Well, these are the issues, and you can tell that it looks like, one individual is already in support of the Ohanize. The Ohanize are not happy this morning, saying that it seems that Bola Tinubu have literally marginalized them when it comes to some of the slot, that is being given out. And as you hear from the Shegun show me there, we spoke to him sometimes on the Star Radio UK, if you remember. We've had interview with him when I traveled during the 2019 election. Is the same person that we're talking about this morning that you just had. And he says 5 ministerial slot to the southeast unjust. Ohanize tells Tinubu the Ohanize Indigbo Social Cultural Organization has expressed dissatisfaction at the 5 ministerial slot allotted to the southeast region by President Bola Tinubu. According to the President General of the Ohanize Indigbo, Chief Emmanuel Iwanyanwu, said the number was unfair and also unjust.
Well, what would the president do? I mean, you cannot get it right all the time. I mean, you cannot, unless, of course, he's trying to balance. So, 9 every day, 9. But, you don't know what he's doing. Let's start really. Another time, but all eyes on the tribunal. What are we talking about? I don't think still, there is a chance that there can be a rerun of the elections. Yummy.
Well, all eyes is on the tribunal. You're quite right. Once again, this is Star Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. As you said, it seems that all eyes is already on the ball when it comes to the election tribunal. Remember that we've been talking about it. What is going to be the outcome? Nobody knows. We can speculate from now till tomorrow, but whatever the outcome is going to make a big impact, on these 3 candidates that went into the election on February 25th. But as many Nigerians are tweeting this morning, where we picked up from the social media, all eyes are already on the ball, especially the judges that will be making the decision. But like I said, we will have to wait a little bit much further when it comes to days. We'll be given just about 2 days notice from the tribunal to determine what is going to happen when it comes to days. But again, already in terms of politics, many Nigerians believe that justice will be served, and some believe that Bola Tinubu will be removed while Atiku will come back. And some say there might just be a rerun and Peter Obi might win the election again.
It is quite right. I said, Atiku said that the things that are going to just come up together and say they're going to run that. That's how we'll just finish Tinubu, When they're talking about 6 million, one of them, assuming maybe less than 1 million of them decide not to vote for them, they're talking about 11 million, which is what they want. That is quite a serious thing.
Well, we know that Tinubu won just with less than 10 million anyway. So, and whatever the outcome, if these, boil down to 2 individuals between Atiku and Tinubu, or Atiku and Peter Obi, then Tinubu will start to think otherwise. And probably maybe that is why he's thinking, let's just start the war so that we can put it on hold on the election tribunal for now.
Who knows? Well, listeners, it's always interesting to be on Star Radio UK. Don't you think so? Well, with Mizola Niger and Upland this year, let's go to your
Well, it seems that the central bank acting director is saying that many diaspora are sending money home, but we cannot track the money, and that is why the Naira continue to fall. I mean, we know that as of today, in the black market, the dollar is just about almost 950. The pound sterling is going to about 1,200 Naira. But it seems already that there is a situation at hand, and the acting director, after Emefiele was removed, according to the news coming out of Nigeria, says that many Nigerians in diaspora are sending money home, but the money is not coming through the proper channel, and they are changing the money from the black market. Also, the central bank has released the financial statement of 7 years amid investigation. The Central Bank of Nigeria has released a consolidated financial statement for the last 7 years, making it the first time since 2015. So it looks like something was shady under the former president not to have released such under Emefiele. The Apex Bank will be making its book available for public scrutiny. The consolidated financial statement, which was released by the CBN, are for 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. The question then is, why was all this not released during the tenure of the former president, Muhammadu Buhari? The CBN also declared a profit after tax of 103 billion in 2022, up to about 75 billion reported a year earlier. Also, the CBN owes JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs a combined sum of $7.5 billion as of the financial year ending December 2022. Maybe I should take that again. The Central Bank of Nigeria is owing JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, a combined sum of $7.5 billion as at 2022 December. Included as part of its liability is another $6.3 billion owned in foreign currency towards the Apex Bank. However, stated it owes Goldman Sachs $500 million, JP Morgan $7 billion in what they classify as security lending. And the question then is, how do we manage a country that is not producing? And that literally means that Nigeria economy continue to go in a very tight situation. Let's talk more about the CBN. However, the Apex Bank also hold another 3.15 trillion, equivalent to 6.3 billion in foreign currency forward, which are forex obligation it needs to make to a foreign investor. So you can tell that there's a pressure, and that is why many diaspora are wondering what is going to happen, especially as the Naira continue to fall. The suspended CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, had come under attack for not releasing this financial statement to the public. The action of Emefiele is in a gross violation of the Central Bank Act. And maybe this is the reason why Emefiele has now going into what we call wahala, as African we say. Once again, a very good morning. As we say, let's go straight to some of the other news headline this morning. It is still the Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in UK. As we say, it's a very beautiful outdoor here, as many people are out, taking a walk. The dogs, exercise machine is just around me, in front of me right here. And like I said, very quiet. And again, Benue State Assembly have now screened, 1 minute, I take that again. Benue State Assembly have now screened eight of the governor's 17 commissioner that have been nominated as well. Obaseki have set up 1,500 hunters and 1,500 hunters vigilante for intelligent gathering. Well, we know that we talked about Amoteku not too long ago. Whatever is going to keep a state to be safe, I think is needed to be done. Tinubu, bagman for Chicago cocaine mafia, rigged Nigerian presidential election as coming from British Member of Parliament, George Galloway. We know that George Galloway is a very, very outspoken individual here in UK. And let's see what George Galloway seems to be talking about, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mr. Galloway, famed for his brutal condom, has said that he only recently learned that Mr. Tinubu was a bagman for a mafia and a drug dealer. George Galloway, a member of the British Parliament between 1987 up to 2015, says President Bola Tinubu, whose victory in February 25 election is being challenged in the court, lacks the moral standing to speak out against the ongoing coup in Republic of Niger. Maybe he's not aware of what has been going on in Nigeria, but now that Niger is going forward, and we know that George Galloway also speaks in favor of the Russia as well. Mr. Galloway, as we know, say Mr. Tinubu was a bagman for mafia and drug dealers. He said these were discouraging attributes for someone tasked with leading a country. To my absolute astonishment, forgive my ignorance. Well, it seems that that's why we say many people do not know what is going on, and that is why you got to tune into the Starr Radio UK Monday to Friday, where we give you all the news update from Nigeria, Mr. Galloway, so that you can keep up to what is happening, especially in Africa. My absolute astonishment, forgive my ignorance. I had no idea that this man was a bagman for mafia and drug dealers in Chicago, Illinois, which doesn't seem like a great qualification for the leader of Nigeria. The former British MP said in an episode 263 of his podcast, Mother of All Talks. This was aired on August 9. These people are now talking about democracy in Niger. Many of them don't have the leg to stand on to do that. Mr. Galloway said, throwing a jab at Mr. Tinubu's so-called moral compass to condemn the coup. And you can tell that it seems that many people in the West do not have an idea what is going on in Africa. And this is why we have the Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, to tell you everything. We talked about the mother and the daughter that died on the roadside in Ikotun. Well, many of our mothers and children do make their living from the side street, selling their little oranges, their pepper, their fish. And when you have a vehicle that is not up to standard, you would likely have such accidents. So a very sad one again in Ikotun, in Alimosho, where a mother have died and a daughter for the negligence of another situation that took place. I picked that up again as well, where 5 family, and I say 5 family died because a driver was driving on the opposite direction. Very sad situation. We're talking about the husband, the wife, 3 children, and I believe the youngest one will not be up to what we called, let's go into the story. Reckless driver crushes family of 5 to death in Imo State. A reckless driver reportedly driving against the traffic has killed a family of 5 and even their house help in Owerri in Imo State. The incident happened at Umadibia Community Maternity Junction close to the Federal Polytechnic Inkadi in Owerri on Sunday, 5th of August. Again, we say news are always delayed. You'll be wondering why this news was not picked up in time. It's just because news do not travel out of Nigeria as we would have loved it. The family head, identified as Otto, alias Agu Oti, aka was a disabled para badminton silver medalist. He was scheduled to represent Nigeria in a disabled badminton competition in the United States on the 14th of August, which is just about 2 days from now. While Otto, his wife, and their 14-month-old child died on the spot, his house help and 2 sons passed away later in Owerri Hospital. This is a very, very sad news. And again, many Nigerians continue to drive recklessly against the upcoming traffic. Otto, as I fondly call the disease, was living in the same house with me as this last Sunday when he perished with his family. He has only one hand and was about to represent the country on a disabled badminton competition in US on the 14th of August, and we can only pray for the soul of all this family. The XUV Lexus 330 but had borrowed the vehicle to withdraw money. It seems that the driver was not the owner of the vehicle. He has actually borrowed it to pick up the money, but it was money for a drink purchased at the Oli family. And again, Mr. Archie, I don't know how this family and the friends and the loved ones will be feeling at this very difficult time, but we can only pray for them as well. As we say, all eyes is on the judiciary is what is trending on the social media this morning. As I come back again to you, once again, it is still very beautiful out here. As we're looking forward to the weekend, and as I say, we'll be monitoring the standoff between Niger and ECOWAS, and we'll be updating should anything comes up on the Starr Radio UK network. But for now, I could see the helicopter. We have them in different shapes and form. I don't know whether that's the police helicopter. We know we have the emergency one for the ambulance, but it seems that that is a police one. And I could tell helicopter picks up more information on the ground because of the thermal images they can use and also the sophisticated intelligence. The question is, how come helicopter have not been able to pick as many of the Boko Haram terrorists that are operating in Nigeria? It seems somebody is making money out of the terrorism in Nigeria. I'll come back again to you, Mr. Archie.
Morning to Shola Ahmed. It says great work, my brother, and great work to you too for joining us as well. Okay, now before we run up the conversation, now so is this sit down or sit at home?
Well, the last week is this week, so we're expecting Monday just to be on the lockdown and everything goes back as well. Well, I will probably be able to do a bit of analysis of that. We couldn't get, Simon Ekpa over the conversation, but we hope we will get him, maybe during the week when he will be able to speak to us, or maybe somebody within the sector, to see what has been the outcome of the sit-at-home 2 weeks in civil disobedience for the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is still being held in captivity against his will and under the human rights after rendition and kidnapping from Kenya to Nigeria as a British citizen.
Yes, that's a big dummy. All of you who are joining us on the platform, various platforms that
Well, a lot of activities over the weekend on the Star Radio UK network from the Friday up to Saturday, Sunday. I'll be back again on Monday, and we'll be giving every update on the Twitter and all the other platforms, when there is any news coming out of Niger and ECOWAS. But as we speak right now, there is a standoff, and that means anything can happen between now and the next 24 hours between ECOWAS and Niger. We hope the situation can still be resolved, but as we say, we can only pray for whatever will make Africa a better place for every one of us. And on that note, I'll leave you in the good hand of Archie. Have a very good afternoon. Bye for now.
Okay, listeners, let me say thank you very much to Mr. Koikimedia.
All right, I got to go now. I have other engagements. Triple DRS, thank you so much. Baba Shita Dire, our mother, Ura De Beauty, Ekabo Sorieto. I got to go now. I have other engagements. When we come back later, diaspora money is affecting Nigeria as we speak. The acting CBN governor, only what and send. So it seems that many of us are sending money, but we are not sending it through the banking system, and the CBN is losing out on that. JP Morgan at Goldman Sachs. $6 billion. Ọmọ Nigeria, ẹjẹ moyoya. $6 billion. Iṣẹ́ wo làwọn yẹn ń ṣe fún wa? Anyway, I wish you all the best. I'll be back later. Pastor Mo, thank you so much. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. This morning, Abdullahi, Mr. Sheun Ogunwole, and all our quiet listeners as well out there. Akpada Lawson, Tibati Dele, I'm on the road right now where I got other engagement to do. And as I say, Koikimedia bringing the work closer to your doorstep. Very beautiful out there. It seems to be like there's one person there. Bí wọ́n bá wà ní Dùmọ́tà báyìí tó bá jókòó báyìí àyà máa já ni. Àwọn ọmọ eriwo ti wà káàkiri. Complete messed up country. Bye for now, everyone.